Hey, what's up everybody? Primus Prime 22 here, bringing you another episode of Transformers Lore. Today, we'll be looking at a little vignette in the Second Cybertronian Civil War, focusing on the Autobot assassin Cliffjumper, as depicted in Transformers Spotlight Cliffjumper, and we might pick up some depression along the way. Universe, Primax 1005.19 Gamma. Date? Unknown, but at this point the war has spread across space. We cut to a dark room. Cliffjumper is in there, lying in wait. He's in there with someone else, as the voice whispers weakly, "I can't hear anything. Are they gone?" Cliffjumper says no and that they've called for reinforcements. The voice begins to worry, but Cliffjumper assures the voice that he'll get this mysterious person out of there. Let's rewind a bit. Cliffjumper is stranded on an alien planet, working with his device to get a signal out to the Autobots, hoping for rescue. However, two of the locals arrive, siblings. Their names are Kita, the older sister, and Cole, the younger brother. Kita is confused at this mysterious robotic creature, and Cliffjumper explains to her that he's a Cybertronian. He even tries to explain how he's able to speak her language before deciding that it's too much of an advanced topic, and just waves it away as magic. Kita asks if Cliffjumper is going to hurt them, and Cliffjumper says no. Kita is glad, remarking that Cliffjumper doesn't look like someone who would hurt people. Cliffjumper is a bit uncomfortable at this. Nevertheless, they become friends. Kita takes Cliffjumper home, where she explains that she and her brother lived there alone, as their parents had died from sickness. Though it's a hard life, they still get support from the other people nearby when they're able to help. Kita asks Cliffjumper why he's here. Cliffjumper explains that he crashed because this area of space was heavily Decepticon-controlled. Kita tells him that he is safe here, but Cliffjumper isn't so sure, as the Decepticons are searching for him. They relax, and Cliffjumper tells her more about himself, how he eats artificial energon from a converter and the like. Kita asks about the Decepticons, and Cliffjumper explains that they hurt people, but he is not afraid of them, there's just more of them than there are of him. Kita asks they, the Decepticons, are bad. Cliffjumper replies yes. She asks, "And you are good?" He again replies yes. She then asks, "You don't hurt things?" Cliffjumper takes a moment, and Kita explains that in their culture, there is nothing more evil than hurting someone else. Cliffjumper assures her that he's a good guy. As days go by, Cliffjumper helps support the family. Kita visits him out in the yard and accidentally gets burned by his skin, causing Cliffjumper to remember that he didn't realize the sun had heated him up that much. In fact, he tells her he can't feel heat or cold to the subtleties that organics do. They continue to talk, and Cliffjumper finally lets his guilt get to the better of him. He starts to try to explain that he's not who Kita thinks he is when a Decepticon ship flies by. Cliffjumper quickly takes Kita and runs to the barn where the Decepticons have already landed and are interrogating Cole. Kita and Cliff hide in the bushes, but Kita refuses to see Cole hurt and runs out into the open. The Decepticons capture her, and the leader sends out his forces to search for Cliffjumper, but Cliff takes each one out one by one. As the sounds of dying Decepticons echo through the air, the commander gets nervous and theorizes that there are about 5 Autobots in the area. Kita begs the cons to not hurt Cliffjumper, and the Decepticon laughs. "Told you they were heroes, did they? Watch this." He puts Kita at gunpoint and calls out to Cliffjumper. "Quiet, watch. Autobots, show yourselves, or we kill this thing." Kita protests, but the Decepticon replies, "They won't come. You're what the Autobots refer to as acceptable losses. They preach morality, but show little difference from us, save weakness." However, Cliffjumper does come out into the open, and explains that he's the only Autobot and doesn't want Kita hurt. Kita begs the cons and tells them that Cliffjumper is peaceful. The Decepticon replies, "He's a murderer. He's a killer, like us. This hero of yours is an assassin. He slipped into our headquarters, killed 5 Decepticon guards, and assassinated our commander. His ship was found and destroyed. We've been hunting him ever since. Tell her, Autobot." And all Cliffjumper can say is that he's sorry to Kita's crying face. The Decepticons let Kita go, but throws a grenade to her and Cole that goes off. Cliffjumper tries to save them, but the explosion still hits them. Cliffjumper grabs the two and runs into the barn, while the Decepticon reinforcements arrive. In the barn, Kita's voice gets weaker. She says that she can't feel or hear. It feels cold. She asks if it's cold. Cliffjumper replies sadly that he already said that he can't feel the cold. In Cliffjumper's arms, Kita dies. A moment of silence passes, and Cliffjumper brings his hands to his eyes. Finally, he gets up and tells Cole to stay. Cliffjumper is crying, and he's going to get revenge. Outside, Decepticon reinforcements have landed, and the new commander is ridiculing the cons for calling him out against one Autobot. However, one mentions that he was small and red, and the commander realizes with fear who the Autobot is. He quickly orders the Decepticons to arm themselves when Cliffjumper emerges, guns blazing, saying that he's going to take their ship. Indeed, Cliffjumper wipes out the Decepticons and buries Kita with her parents, hammering in her tombstone with the head of the Decepticon who threw the grenade. Cliffjumper gave Cole over to another family before taking the Decepticon ship and leaving back to the war. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of Transformers Lore. I hope I've conveyed just how devastating the war could be. This particular conflict was minuscule compared to the battles fought in the war, and the casualties and destroyed planets it racked up. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on social media for updates for the channel. Subscribe if you like, and have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.